Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Chapter 9, Text 33. King Punar Brahmana Punya Bhakta Raja Shayastatha Anityam Asukam Lokam Imang Prapya Bhajasvamam. Srila Prabhupada's translation. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. This verse is carrying on from the previous verse. How much more is this is so? The previous verse is stated that even people of lower birth, if they take shelter in Krishna, can attain the supreme destination. Hare Krishna. So how much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, their devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me, Lord Krishna says, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada's purport, in this material world there are classifications of people, but after all, this world is not a happy place for anyone. It is clearly stated here, Anityam Asukham Lokam. This world is temporary and full of miseries, not habitable for any sane, gentle man. This world is declared by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be temporary and full of miseries. Some philosophers, especially Mayavadi philosophers, say that this world is false, but we can understand from Bhagavad Gita that the world is not false, it is temporary. Therefore, there is a difference between temporary and false. This world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. This world is miserable, but the other world is eternal and blissful. Arjuna was born in a saintly royal family. To him also the Lord says, take to my devotional service and come quickly back to Godhead, back home. No one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can be eternally happy. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of men can be solved. Everyone should therefore take to Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Shrishtham Manamapi Shachiputra Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasya Gajamurupuring Mathurim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishakhan Vitamscha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yesterday, I read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and spoke on that a sadhu, a saintly person, is one who acts like a doctor to cure the disease of material life, so that one can come from the miserable situation of repeated birth in this material world to the blissful situation of living with Krishna eternally in the spiritual world. And I concluded that talk by saying that sadhus, they should speak Bhagavad Gita as it is and encourage people to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So here we have a similar topic in this verse that I just read, where Lord Krishna states that this material world is miserable and temporary, and that therefore one should engage in loving service to Krishna, and the theme is completed in the next verse, which is the last verse of the 9th chapter, a very well-known verse. What's the next line? No, the next line is Mame Vaishasi Yuktvaivam. It's a little, it's usually quoted, the one which comes at the end of Gita, but here at the end of halfway through the Gita. Mame Vaishasi Yuktvaivam Atmanang Matparayanaha. It's approximately halfway through. There are 18 chapters in Gita, and it's the last verse in the 9th chapter. So engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me, Krishna says. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So this is what sadhus should teach. That's the meaning of a sadhu, is that he's in this material world but determined to come out of it. He's otherworldly. There's an English word called otherworldly. It means concerned with the other world. It's usually used in a denigrating sense. That someone has his head in the clouds. He's not really tuned into this world. Impractical. But actually, the real purpose of human life, the human life should be utilized for this purpose, to go to the other world. So that's what sadhus do. That's the meaning of a sadhu. Just like the meaning of a baker is one who bakes. The meaning of a butcher is one who, what does he do? Butchers, kills animals. And the business of a soldier is to fight. The business of a doctor is to cure disease. Or would be better if doctors would teach us how not to get disease. But anyway, they get the idea. What makes a sadhu is that he's concerned with the other world, the world beyond this world of birth and death. So, obviously sadhus, in general, they're not going to get a very wide audience, because mostly people are foolish and interested in being happy in this world, which is actually not possible, and sadhus are supposed to point that out. So sadhus may find they don't get a very big audience. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, here in Bhagavad Gita, Manushanang Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaye, which means that out of thousands of people, hardly one may be interested in spiritual elevation. You may say, well, there are so many Christians, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, Lingayats, they're another religion now according to the government of India, and so on. Yeah, there are many religious people, but not many people are seriously interested in getting out of the clutches of the material energy. Most people who are religious, they are religious for this sake. They'll go to pray to God. Give me this, give me that. Solve my material problems so I can be happy in this world. Even in Buddhism, you would think that what person in known history could be more, I wouldn't say exactly otherworldly, because Buddha doesn't speak of an other world, but we could say non-this worldly than Lord Buddha. But in Buddhism also, the majority of Buddhists, they worship Buddha for some material gain, or as I've seen in Thailand, I spent some time there, way back. Although people are officially Buddhists, the actual religious activity they do mostly is worshipping spirits, ghosts, and they may worship some Hindu gods also. And they worship him, but mostly every house, every office, every workplace has a little altar for the local ghosts who are worshipped. We were discussing about worshipping snakes, Naga Puja. How especially all over India they worship, Nag Panchami especially. But especially in that area around Udupi, Nadu, that area belongs to the snake. So people worship for some material benefit, but who's actually spiritual, interested in understanding the difference between spirit and matter, and going beyond the hope for being happy in this material world? Not very many. So sadhus may not get a very big audience. But then after all, sadhus, they're not in the popularity game. That sometimes we hear that actors and maybe actresses, they're envious of each other because they're vying for popularity. The sadhus, they're not supposed to be like that. Who can be the most popular? If someone's actually a sadhu, his heart is pure, then he's happy to see that another sadhu is connecting so many people with Krishna. He's happy for that. But he may not be happy. In other words, if the sadhu is outdoing him, so to speak, he'll be happy. But he won't be happy if someone is taking the role of a sadhu but not really doing what a sadhu should be doing. A sadhu should be pointing people to the other world. So if sadhus, as I was saying yesterday, they may engage in activities for feeding the poor, building hospitals, giving personality development, being intimately associated with businesses, and so on. Well, these are all activities of this world. They're all conducted with the durashaya, karmashaya, with the wrong understanding that we can be happy in this world. If we have a personality development course, the idea is that, well, you can enhance your personality so you can get ahead in the world, enhance your career. But a real sadhu knows that anyway, what is this world? Even if you become a great leader of nations, you're still lost in the material ocean of repeated birth and death, suffering. There's no gain to be had in material gain. It's all temporary and therefore illusory. And whatever happiness is there in this material world ultimately results in distress. Therefore, tat prayasam na kartavyam. Tat prayaso na kartavyam. Srila Prabhupada often used to quote from Prahlad Maharaj's teachings that tat prayasa, that endeavor for trying to become happy in this material world, na kartavyam. One should not do it. So, if a sadhu teaches, if someone's supposed to be a sadhu, then people, they won't even recognize a sadhu. If an actual sadhu comes, they'll think that, oh, what's this, talking all this? A real sadhu should help us to improve our business, or a real sadhu should help us to get ahead in our career, or help the children in the school so they can have a better future. We experience that at the present time in our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, because one of the members has become fabulously popular by speaking basically all nonsense in a very entertaining way, and it's become a big YouTube hit. And everyone is saying, oh, can you do like that? You do like that. They're calling us. People are calling us. We're saying, well, that's very good. They're calling the devotees, but not to speak about Krishna. but to speak entertaining style, general platitudes, be good, be nice. I don't know, I only saw a few minutes of the gentleman, but the point, people like that. But if we say, okay, yeah, we'll come to your place and we'll tell you how this material life is miserable, how to get free from birth and death, you have to surrender to Krishna, then no invitation. They'll chase you away. Well, at least in India, they mostly won't chase you away. They have at least that much culture, but it won't be very popular. However, if the sadhus are all doing things which basically materialistic people do, then there won't be any sadhus left. It's not just by putting on the dress. Just like in a drama, someone can dress as a soldier, but that doesn't make him a soldier. So in real life, someone can put on the dress of a sadhu, but really has to live and act like that. And I'm very afraid that actually this whole Indian culture, which is what is Indian culture? Curry? This Bhangra dance, Punjabi. The essence of the culture is the spiritual culture. What India has to offer the world is spiritual culture. There's nothing like this throughout the world. India can make cars and have IT specialists and so on, but what India's greatest gift to the world is the spiritual culture, the sadhus. But if all the sadhus are sophisticated materialists, and maybe in the midst of their jokes and their entertainment and their trying to teach people how to be a better materialist, they throw in a quote or two from the Upanishads just to make it sound spiritual. But what's happening is the actual class of sadhus is being lost. And then the whole spiritual culture will be lost, because where's the spiritual culture going to come from anyway? We can't expect politicians in general to teach us the Bhagavad Gita. We can't expect businessmen to teach us Bhagavad Gita. We can't expect people who are trying to improve the condition of the nation by educating all the children in materialistic subjects. We can't expect them to teach us Bhagavad Gita as it is. So who's going to do that? Then the whole culture will be lost. And in our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which Srila Prabhupada founded to teach the world, as he states here in this purport, the devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of men can be solved. This is Srila Prabhupada's teachings, not by some vague platitudes. If you become self-aware, then you can tolerate all pain within. Okay, that's true, but what does self-aware mean? Self-aware means to understand, I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and adi karma phale paribhavanava jale. Since time immemorial, I'm in this ocean of birth and death. I've fallen in here. Due to karmic activities I'm going on, therefore I have to surrender to Krishna. So this is what sadhus should be teaching. It's a bad world. It's really cheating of the sadhus to give hope that you can be happy in this world, when their real duty is to teach that you can never be happy in this world. Jokers and clowns and jesters and comedians, what is that called? Life guides. They call them personality coaches, some life coaches, whatever they call. They're all teaching, yeah, you can be happy in this world. Take this course from me. I'll teach you how to be. I'll teach you how to public speaking, and you can speak in a way you can impress everyone, and you can go on YouTube and Make sure you keep your eyes open, keep your eyes on the audience, keep your eyes on the camera, do all the tricks so that you can be an effective public speaker and you will be happy in this material world. All bogus. No one has ever been happy in this material world, and no one ever will be. At least not, you can be if you're Krishna conscious. If we're connected with Krishna, who is the source of all bliss. But if we forget Krishna, we have to suffer. That's a fact. So to say anything else, especially if one has this highest knowledge, this knowledge which can lift everyone who's been trying to be happy in 8,400,000 species of life, that happiness which has eluded them and will continue to elude them, they can get by connecting with Krishna, Bhakti Yoga, connecting with Krishna by devotion. If people have that knowledge and they don't give it, then that's the worst kind of cheating, and it's spoiling the whole culture, the spiritual culture broadly of India, and specifically in this Society for Krishna Consciousness. The members of this society have to teach what Srila Prabhupada taught. That's called parampara. Evang parampara praptam imang rajashayo viduhu sakale nehamhata yogo nashta parantapa. That's one of the first verses that newcomers to this Krishna consciousness movement are taught, that this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was passed down in the preceptorial succession. That means from guru to disciple. But in due course of time, and Rajasya, the great saintly kings, they understood it in this way, but in course of time, by the mighty power of time, that knowledge was lost, it was destroyed. So, we may have the knowledge, but then it becomes lost if we don't transmit it. And there may be some idea that well, outside you speak one thing and inside you speak another. That may be going on. It may be going on that someone's speaking all nonsense outside to attract people inside. I've discussed this in some detail in my book on speaking strongly in Srila Prabhupada's service. That you may try to attract people in so many different ways, but ultimately you have to give them the real message. And we can't prepare people to get the real message by speaking the opposite of that, which is be happy in this material world. The opposite of the truth is that we can be happy in this world, and it's a truth that we cannot be happy in this world. And of course so many people will say, well, I'm happy. Yeah, well, they may have some sense of happiness, but real happiness means eternal, unmitigated bliss. There's no fear of coming down from that platform. There's no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. Who can say, I'm happy? Well, they can say, but they have to suffer old age, disease, and death. Jara, marana, mokshaya, mama shutra yatanti. Again and again in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about going beyond birth and death, old age, all these things. So the world is very bad, at the present time especially. There's so many bad things in the world. And people wonder, well, what do you do? Where do you go? How can you live in this world to be happy? It's such a bad time. And it's a fact. The world is extremely confused at the present time. There's so much cruelty, cheating. People are bewildered. They're born into a very, very confused world. People are telling them all kinds of different opposing things. So it's a very difficult world. But you know what? It's always been like that. We may think of in the past golden age. We have in our Vedic understanding also. We're now in the Kali Yuga, the worst age, and previous to that, and then after the Kali Yuga again, in the cycle of time, comes Satya Yuga, which is called the Golden Age. So is golden in as much as the lying, cheating, exploitation was largely absent, and people were mostly all Paramahamsas, highly advanced spiritualists. But what does Krishna say here? Anityam asukam lokam. This world by nature is temporary and miserable. He said it, that comes up in the previous chapter also. Dukhalayama shashvatam, same thing. This world is miserable and temporary. So even in the best of times, even if we think, let us go back to the past when things were better, but there's always suffering in this world. That is the nature of this world. And that is the duty of sadhus, to teach this, to try to wake people up. Jeev jago, gaura chanda bole, koto nidra, jao maya, pishachira kole. Wake up, wake up. Oh Jeev, oh living being, wake up. Gaura chanda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. How long will you sleep on the lap of the witch called Maya? Asatoma, Jyotirgamaya, come out of the darkness. Come to the light. This is the teaching of the sadhus. Hare Krishna. Come to the light. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hoy Andaka. Taha Krishna. Taha Nahi. Maya Adhika. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya, illusion, is just like the darkness. So where there's the sun, there's no darkness. So if we're in the sunlight of Krishna consciousness, then we won't be in the darkness of illusion, of thinking that I can be happy in this world. So come to the light. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Same thing in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that if one gets the light of true knowledge, then it's just like the sun rising. Here at night we're going around. Now just Amavasya was, what, two nights ago? Huh? So it's still very dark at night here. So when we go to see it's very dark, we may have a little flashlight, little torch. We're looking here and there to try to find something. But as soon as the sun rises, you can see everything very clearly. So there may be various people who are giving little hints of knowledge. It's not that everything that everyone says is not true. They may be giving little hints of knowledge. But when we get the full knowledge, which is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then everything, knowledge of Krishna, then everything becomes clear. And then the little flashlight, it's of no use to us. Prakashyati tatparam. Then we can see this supreme Krishna clearly. So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it is, if it's taken as it is, it's this, just like the sun rising, and we can see everything very clearly. Otherwise, no need to bring a flashlight. There are so many people bringing little flashlights of little bits of wisdom here and there. But the full knowledge means to understand everything clearly. Vedaischa sarverahameva vedyaha, Krishna says. In all the Vedas. Veda means knowledge, actual knowledge. The object of knowledge is Krishna. So, yeah, the world is miserable. It's always been like that. then why smile at all? Well, we can smile if we are happy to be sheltered by Krishna. Otherwise, there's nothing to be happy about in this material world. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You happy, Maitreya? Very happy. Okay, good. Serve Krishna and be happy. Working hard, carrying all this bottles of water. What do you call that? Dhaba? Can? I'm just trying to think of the English word. Canisters of water. Becomes very heavy. Huh? Someone may come and say, why are you doing this? You could work and earn money, and then you could go to the movies, and you could get a motorcycle and ride around and get killed. But he's more intelligent because he knows that working for Krishna, serving Krishna, that will bring us beyond the world of birth and death. That will bring us to the... And actually we're happy serving Krishna, isn't it? Atmane Vedan Tuapade Kare Hoinu Paramashuki. Bhakti Thakur sings. Now that I've surrendered at your lotus feet, he prays to Krishna, I've become Paramasuki, supremely happy. Dukkha dure gelo, chinta na rahilo, chodike ananda deki. He says that all my distress has gone far away. There are no more anxieties. And in all directions, I see simply happiness. So that's on the platform of Bhakti Vinod, taking pleasure in devotional service. So many songs he sings like that. What is that? Pati Dibashe Paramashu. Krishna Bhajane Anukul Jaha Anukul Pai. What is that? Pati Dibashe Paramashuki. Paramashuk He. Shikarat Karyeta. I'm getting mixed up here. But he says that in Krishna's service, Krishna Bhajane Anukul Jaha, in Krishna's service, whatever is favorable for that, I accept that, and every day I feel so much happiness in that. Hare Krishna. Anything? Okay, everything clear. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada.